Tonight, take a slow, comfortable breath, allow your shoulders to relax, and let the noise of the modern world slowly fade away. Now, imagine that you have traveled back nearly 2,000 years. The Roman Empire stands at the height of its power. Its magnificent cities sparkle with marble temples. Its armies guard thousands of miles of frontier. Its emperors rule over millions of people. To the citizens of Rome, the empire seems limitless. Every road is busy. Every market is full. Every monument grows larger each year. But very few people stop to ask where Rome's wealth truly comes from. The gold that decorates an emperor's palace, the silver used to pay soldiers, the copper shaped into tools and coins, none of it appears by magic. It comes from deep beneath the earth. And today, that is where your story begins. The morning is cold. Long before sunrise, you stand outside a Roman mining settlement. There are no grand temples here, no beautiful marble villas, no lively marketplaces, only rough wooden buildings surrounded by rocky hills. The air smells of damp earth and smoke. A faint mist hangs over the valley. The silence is broken only by the distant sound of iron striking stone. Clang, clang, clang. The mine never truly sleeps. You pull your ruffled tunic tighter around your shoulders. Your leather sandals are already covered with mud. You carry no sword, no shield, no sign of status. Only a small oil lamp hangs from your belt. Beside you stand dozens of other workers. Some are slaves captured in distant wars. Some are prisoners sent here as punishment. Others are poor laborers with no better way to earn a living. No one smiles. Everyone knows what waits beneath the mountain. A heavy wooden gate slowly opens. An overseer steps forward. His face is stern, his voice calm but firm. You follow the tunnel. You work until sunset. You waste nothing. He points toward the entrance. It looks less like a doorway and more like a wound cut into the side of the mountain. Dark, silent, endless. One by one, the workers disappear inside. Soon, it is your turn. You light your small oil lamp. Its tiny flame dances gently in the cool morning air. Then you step into the darkness. Almost immediately, the temperature changes. The fresh morning breeze disappears. The air becomes still, heavy. The tunnel is narrow. The ceiling hangs low above your head. Water drips slowly from the stone walls. Each drop echoes through the darkness. Your footsteps mix with the sounds of dozens of other workers moving deeper underground. The light from the entrance grows smaller behind you. Soon, it disappears completely. Now the only light comes from scattered oil lamps carried by the miners. Golden circles flicker against the rough stone. Shadows move strangely across the tunnel walls. Every sound seems louder underground. The scrape of sandals, the ringing of iron picks, the quiet breathing of tired workers. After several minutes of walking, the tunnel opens into a much larger chamber. Here, the work has already begun. Miners swing heavy iron picks against the rock. Others kneel on the ground, filling woven baskets with broken stone. Teams of workers carry the baskets back toward the surface. Nobody moves quickly. The work is simply too exhausting. The overseer hands you your first tool, an iron pickaxe. Its wooden handle is smooth from years of use. The metal head is chipped along the edges. Many hands have held this tool before yours. Without another word, he points toward a section of solid rock. You understand, this is your place. You grip the handle with both hands, raise the pick, and strike. The sharp sound echoes through the chamber. Tiny fragments of stone fall to the ground. Again, another strike. Again, and again, the rhythm becomes almost hypnotic. Lift, swing, strike, lift, swing, strike. Minutes become hours. Slowly, a small crack begins to spread across the rock. The Roman miners understand something important. Stone is stronger than people. It cannot be rushed. It yields only through patience. As the morning passes, the tunnel grows warmer. The air feels thick. Breathing requires more effort than it did outside. Fine dust fills every breath. It settles on your face, your clothes, your hair. Even the small flame of your oil lamp grows dim behind a cloud of dust. Nearby, an older miner notices your tired expression. Without stopping his work, he speaks quietly. The mountain teaches patience. He smiles faintly, and it never shows mercy. His words stay with you. By midday, your arms ache, your hands sting. Your back feels stiff from bending over the hard stone. The overseer finally signals for a short rest. The workers gather in a small open chamber. Lunch is simple: a piece of coarse bread, a few olives, a small wedge of cheese, cool water stored inside clay jars. No one speaks much. Talking wastes energy. The silence is almost peaceful. For a few precious moments, the sound of pickaxes stops. You lean against a cold stone wall, close your eyes, and listen. Dripping water, distant footsteps, the faint crackle of oil lamps. It almost feels calming. Almost. Soon the break ends. The overseer's voice echoes through the tunnels. Back to work. You return to your place. The rock waiting before you looks almost unchanged. Hours of labor have produced only a shallow groove. You suddenly understand why Roman mines operate day after day, month after month, year after year. Nothing underground happens quickly. As the afternoon slowly fades, a small cart passes through the tunnel. Inside are pieces of shining silver ore. The workers pause for only a moment to watch it disappear toward the surface. Somewhere above, those stones will eventually become Roman coins. Perhaps even the wages paid to soldiers guarding distant frontiers. Perhaps decorations inside an emperor's palace. The wealth of an empire begins here, in darkness. Late in the day, your oil lamp flickers. The overseer announces the end of the shift. A wave of quiet relief spreads through the tunnel. You follow the others toward the entrance. At first, you notice only a tiny circle of light far ahead. With every step, it grows larger, brighter, warmer. Finally, you emerge from the mine. The evening sun rests low over the hills. Fresh air fills your lungs. For the first time all day, you breathe deeply. It feels like a gift. Looking back at the dark entrance, you realize something unsettling. Tomorrow morning, you will walk back into that darkness once again. Because in ancient Rome, the empire's greatest treasures were won, not on the battlefield, but beneath the earth, by ordinary people whom history almost forgot. The second morning arrives before the sun. The mining camp is already awake. A cold wind moves across the rocky hills, carrying the smell of damp earth and burning charcoal. The sky is still dark. Only a few stars remain above the silent valley. You finish a simple breakfast: a piece of coarse bread, a few dried figs, and cool water from a clay jug. It is not much, but underground, every bit of strength matters. The overseer calls the workers together. His voice echoes through the quiet camp. Today, he says, you go deeper. Those words make even the experienced miners glance at one another. The deeper tunnels are older, narrower, hotter, and far more dangerous. You tighten the strap, holding your small oil lamp. The flame flickers gently as you step toward the mine entrance once again. Yesterday's path now feels strangely familiar. The rough stone walls, the dripping water, the cool darkness. Soon the sunlight disappears behind you. The tunnel twists downward, farther than before. Every step carries you deeper beneath the mountain. The air changes. It becomes warmer, heavier. Breathing requires more effort. The tunnel narrows until your shoulders nearly brush the rock on either side. Above your head, the ceiling hangs so low that you must bend slightly to continue. The only sounds are your footsteps, the distant ringing of iron tools, and the steady dripping of water. After nearly half an hour, you reach a new chamber. Unlike yesterday's wide workspace, this one feels cramped. Wooden support beams hold up the ceiling. Some look fresh. Others are cracked with age. Every miner notices them. Everyone quietly hopes they will hold for another day. An older engineer kneels beside the rock wall. He explains today's work. The Romans are searching for silver hidden inside narrow veins running through the mountain. Finding it requires patience. Most of the rock has little value. Only thin streaks of shining, or are worth removing. He points toward a faint silver line running across the stone. There, he says. Follow it. Your team begins carefully breaking away the surrounding rock. Unlike yesterday, swinging the pickaxe wildly would destroy valuable ore. Every strike must be controlled, precise, patient. Hour after hour, the silver vein slowly grows wider. Small fragments sparkle in the light of your oil lamp. It is beautiful, almost magical. Hard to believe something so valuable can remain hidden beneath ordinary stone for thousands of years. Nearby, another group works using a different method. Instead of striking the rock directly, they build a large fire against the stone wall. The flames burn for hours. The intense heat slowly weakens the rock. When the fire dies, workers splash cold water across the surface. The sudden change in temperature causes the stone to crack with loud popping sounds. This technique is called fire setting. It is slow. It fills the tunnels with smoke, but it allows the Romans to reach or that would otherwise remain trapped forever. The smoke soon reaches your chamber. Your eyes begin to sting. The air grows thick. Some miners wrap small pieces of cloth around their mouths. It helps only a little. Every breath tastes of ash and dust. The overseer orders the workers to continue. Stopping is not an option. Rome always needs more silver. As the morning passes, baskets are broken or begin moving toward the surface. Each basket is surprisingly heavy. You lift one onto your shoulders. The rough wicker presses painfully against your skin. Step by step, you carry the load through the narrow tunnel. The journey seems endless. The farther you walk, the heavier the basket feels. When you finally reach the collection area, your arms are trembling. An older miner laughs softly. You'll stop feeling your shoulders after a few months. You are not sure whether he is joking. Around midday, work pauses for a short meal. You sit beside a cool stone wall. The chamber is quiet except for the crackling of distant fires. You eat slowly. Bread, olives, a small onion, water, nothing more. One of the miners points toward the silver or stack nearby. That stone, he says, may become a coin in the emperor's hand. Another smiles. Or jewelry worn by someone who never thinks about this place. The group grows quiet again. It is a strange feeling. The people underground create enormous wealth, yet few of them will ever see it. When the break ends, the engineer calls your team to another tunnel. This passage is newer, much narrower. Only one person can move through it at a time. The walls press close on both sides. The ceiling barely clears your head. Here, silence feels different, almost unsettling. You strike the rock carefully. Each blow echoes through confined space. The sound seems louder than before. Then, you hear something else. A faint cracking noise, not from your pickaxe. From above, everyone freezes. The engineer raises his oil lamp. Dust falls gently from the ceiling. No one speaks. For several long seconds, the tunnel remains still. Finally, the cracking stops. The engineer quietly orders everyone to leave the passage. No one argues. Fresh wood supports are brought in before work resumes. It is a reminder that the mountain decides everything. Human strength means little beneath thousands of tons of stone. As evening approaches, the miners begin carrying the final baskets of or toward the surface. You help load them onto wooden carts. The carts will travel to nearby furnaces where the ore is crushed, washed, and melted. Only then will pure silver begin to appear. The process is long, complicated, demanding. Nothing about mining is easy. When the overseer finally signals the end of the day, relief spreads through the tunnels. You follow the others toward the fading light. With every step upward, the air becomes cooler, fresher. The smell of smoke slowly disappears. At last, you emerge into the evening sunlight. The valley is peaceful. Birds circle above the hills. The wind carries the scent of pine trees. It feels like another world compared to the darkness below. You look back at the mine entrance. From the outside, it appears almost harmless. A simple opening in the mountainside. No one passing by would imagine the endless maze of tunnels hidden beneath, or the thousands of hours of labor taking place below their feet. Tomorrow, you will return once more, because Rome's silver, its gold, its wealth, all begin in places where sunlight never reaches. deep beneath the earth, where ordinary people quietly spend their lives, so an empire can shine above them. Another day begins. The morning sky is painted with soft shades of blue and gold. For a brief moment, the valley feels peaceful. Birds glide above the rocky hills. A cool breeze carries the scent of pine trees through the mining camp. It is easy to forget what lies beneath your feet, but only for a moment. The overseer's horn echoes across the camp. Workers slowly gather. Some stretch their aching backs. Others quietly tighten the straps on their sandals. No one seems fully rested. Mining leaves little time for recovery. Each day begins before sunrise. Each day ends after sunset. And each night feels far too short. You pick up your oil lamp. The familiar flame flickers gently. Its small circle of light has become your closest companion. Without it, the darkness below will be complete. You join the long line of miners walking toward the entrance once again. The mountain welcomes you with the same silence as always. Cool air brushes against your face as you descend into the tunnel. The deeper you walk, the more distant the outside world becomes. Soon, there are no birds, no wind, no sunlight, only stone. The tunnel twists downward until you reach the lower chambers. The air here is different from the upper levels. It is warmer, more humid. The smell of damp earth mixes with smoke from yesterday's fire setting. Your lamp casts dancing shadows across the rough walls. Every miner knows the route by memory. Many have walked these tunnels for years. Some can navigate them even in near darkness. Your work today takes place inside one of the oldest sections of the mine. The ceiling is supported by thick wooden beams blackened with age. Water drips steadily into shallow pools along the floor. Some passages are so narrow that only one person can crawl through at a time. The engineer warns everyone to remain alert. Old tunnels require constant attention. You begin working beside an experienced miner named Lucius. His beard is streaked with gray. His hands are rough and scarred. He has spent most of his life beneath these mountains. As you strike the rock together, he begins speaking quietly. "When I was young," he says, "I thought mining would make me rich." He smiles gently. "It made me strong." Then he laughs, and very tired. His calm humor makes the work feel a little lighter. The rhythm begins again. Lift, swing, strike. Stone chips scatter across the ground. The hours pass almost unnoticed. Time behaves differently underground. Without sunlight, there is no easy way to judge the passing of the day. Only the overseer signals tell you when to rest, or when to continue. As the morning wears on, you notice how carefully every worker conserves energy. Nobody wastes movement. Even lifting a pickaxe becomes an exercise in efficiency. The older miners have learned that steady work lasts longer than bursts of strength. One careless hour can leave your body exhausted for the rest of the day. Nearby, another team pushes a wooden cart filled with broken ore. The wheels squeak loudly against the uneven stone floor. Several workers struggle to keep the heavy load balanced through the narrow tunnel. At one sharp corner, the cart nearly tips over. Everyone rushes to steady it. Even losing a single day's would be a serious setback. Around midday, the workers gather in a larger chamber for lunch. The room is surprisingly quiet. Some miners remove their sandals to rest sore feet. Others lean silently against the stone walls. You unwrap your meal, a piece of dark bread, a handful of olives, some dried beans, and cool water carried in a clay flask. Simple food, but after hours of hard labor, it tastes better than any grand feast. Lucius is beside you. He points toward the ceiling. "Do you hear that?" At first, you hear nothing. Then slowly, you notice it. The faint sound of water flowing somewhere deep inside the mountain. "There are rivers beneath us," he explains. "We never know exactly where." His words send a small chill through you. The mountain hides far more than silver. After lunch, the engineer leads your group into a newly opened passage. The air feels unusually warm. Your lamp burns with a slightly smaller flame. The tunnel has very little fresh air. Several workers begin digging small ventilation shafts leading upward whenever possible. Without moving air, the smoke from oil lamps and fire setting can quickly fill the tunnels. The Romans understand the importance of ventilation, even if they do not fully understand why it works. As the afternoon continues, dust thickens around your team. Every strike sends tiny clouds into the air. You wipe your face repeatedly. Yet moments later, another layer of gray dust settles across your skin. Breathing becomes difficult. Each breath feels dry, heavy, slow. Still, the work continues. You begin to understand something important. Mining is not usually dangerous because of one dramatic event. It is dangerous because of thousands of small hardships. The dust, the heat, the darkness, the endless repetition. Together, they slowly wear down even the strongest person. Later in the afternoon, your team discovers another narrow vein of silver running through the stone. The engineer smiles with quiet satisfaction. It is not a large discovery, but every piece matters. Rome's empire depends upon thousands of small successes like this one. Each fragment of what will eventually travel to a furnace, then to a mint, then into the hands of merchants, soldiers, and senators. The journey begins here, with tired workers beneath the earth. As evening approaches, the overseer's horn echoes through the tunnels. The sound brings quiet relief. Tools are gathered. Oil lamps are checked. The long walk back begins. This time, the climb feels even steeper than before. Your legs ache with every step. Your shoulders feel heavy. But slowly, the darkness begins to fade. A tiny circle of daylight appears ahead. It grows brighter with every step. Finally, fresh air greets your face once again. The cool evening breeze feels almost magical. The valley glows beneath the setting sun. For a few peaceful moments, you simply stand outside the mine, breathing deeply, watching birds cross the orange sky, listening to leaves rustle in the wind. Simple things that many people never stop to appreciate. Tomorrow, you will return beneath the mountain once again, because the silver hidden inside these rocks is not easily earned. It demands patience, strength, and quiet determination. The mountain asks for all three, every single day. Morning arrives beneath a sky covered with soft gray clouds. The air feels unusually cool. A light mist hangs over the hills surrounding the mining camp. From the outside, everything appears peaceful. The birds continue their morning songs. The trees sway gently in the breeze. Nothing suggests the dangers hidden beneath the mountain. Yet every experienced miner knows something important. The mine changes every single day. A tunnel that felt safe yesterday may become dangerous today. You finish your simple breakfast in silence. Around you, the other workers prepare for another long shift. Few conversations are heard this morning. Everyone seems unusually quiet. Perhaps it is the weather, or perhaps everyone feels the same unspoken thought. No one ever knows exactly what waits underground. The overseer gathers the workers. His face is serious. There was movement during the night, he says. The engineers will inspect every tunnel. No one asks questions. They simply collect their tools and begin the familiar walk toward the mine. You light your oil lamp. Its small golden flame pushes back the darkness just enough to reveal the narrow path ahead. Step by step, you descend once again beneath the earth. The deeper tunnels feel different today. The air is warmer than usual. The stone walls glisten with fresh moisture. Tiny streams of water trickle along the edges of the passage. One of the engineers pauses beside a support beam. He presses his hand against the timber, then quietly nods. The beam remains strong. For now, your team continues forward until reaching yesterday's work area. The silver vein still cuts across the rock like a pale ribbon. You pick up your iron tool. The steady rhythm begins once more. Lift, strike, lift, strike. The familiar sounds echo through the tunnel. Iron against stone. Breathing. Footsteps. Dripping water. Hours pass peacefully. Almost peacefully. Then, a distant sound interrupts the rhythm. A low rumble. So quiet at first that you almost mistake it for thunder. The workers stop. The rumble comes again. Longer this time. The engineer immediately raises his lamp. Everyone stands still. Silence fills the tunnel. Even the dripping water seems to pause. Tiny grains of dust begin falling from the ceiling. One, then another. The wooden support beams groan softly. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks. Every miner knows what this could mean. Several long moments pass. Then, the rumbling fades away. The engineer slowly lowers his lamp. "It has settled," he says calmly. "But we leave this tunnel." The workers quietly gather their tools. No one complains. Experience has taught them that the mountain always deserves respect. As your group enters another chamber, you notice several carpenters already at work. Fresh oak beams are being cut and fitted into place. Roman mines require constant repair. Without strong supports, the mountain slowly reclaims every tunnel carved into it. By midday, another danger appears. The air begins feeling strangely heavy. Your lamp burns with a weaker flame. Lucius notices it immediately. He gently covers the flame with one hand. "It should burn brighter," he whispers. The engineer quickly walks through the chamber, checking every lamp. His expression changes. There isn't enough fresh air. The workers stop immediately. Several men hurry toward a nearby ventilation shaft. Others begin clearing loose stone that has blocked the narrow opening. Minutes pass. The air remains still. Breathing becomes harder. Not impossible, just uncomfortable. The engineer knows waiting is dangerous. He orders everyone farther back until fresh air begins moving once again. Slowly, very slowly, the lamps grow brighter. The breeze returns. Only then does the work continue. It is a simple reminder. Underground, sometimes the greatest danger cannot even be seen. Later that afternoon, your team is assigned to help drain water, collecting inside one of the lower tunnels. Spring water constantly seeps through tiny cracks in the mountain. If ignored, entire passages could flood. Roman miners have developed clever solutions. Small drainage channels are carved into the floor. Water flows gently downhill into collection pools. Buckets remove what remains. It is slow work, but necessary. You spend nearly an hour carrying heavy buckets toward the drainage pit. Your arms ache. Your boots become soaked. Still, the tunnel slowly dries. As evening approaches, another unexpected challenge arrives. One of the wooden or carts loses a wheel while climbing a steep passage. The heavy load slides backward. Several workers immediately jump aside. The cart crashes into the tunnel wall with tremendous force. Silver or scatters across the floor. Fortunately, no one is hurt. The foreman calmly organizes the cleanup. No shouting, no panic, simply careful work. The mountain has already provided enough danger for one day. There's no need to create more. As the final hours of the shift pass, you notice something remarkable. Despite the hardships, the miners help one another constantly. Someone shares water. Another sharpens a dull tool. One worker steadies another while climbing a slippery path. Underground, survival depends upon cooperation. No one succeeds alone. Finally, the overseer's horn echoes through the tunnels. The long workday has ended. You carefully extinguish your oil lamp. For a few moments, complete darkness surrounds you. It is deeper than any darkness on the surface. Silent, timeless. Then the line of workers begins moving toward the entrance. One by one, small circles of daylight appear ahead. The closer you walk, the brighter they become. When you finally step outside, the evening air feels wonderfully cool. The sky glows orange above the mountains. Birds continue their peaceful flight across the valley. Nature seems completely unaware of the difficult world hidden beneath its feet. You turn back and study the mine entrance. It looks almost ordinary, just another opening in the hillside. Yet inside, thousands of workers continue their quiet struggle against stone, darkness, and time. Tomorrow, the mountain will offer new challenges, new dangers, new discoveries, because no 2 days beneath the earth are ever the same. And every miner understands one simple truth. The greatest treasure you carry home each evening is not silver or gold, but the chance to see the sunset one more time. The seasons have changed. Many months have passed since your first uncertain steps into the Roman mine. The rough wool tunic you once wore is faded now. Your leather sandals are worn thin. The blisters on your hands have become thick calluses. Even your movements have changed. Without thinking, you can serve every step, every swing of the pickaxe, every breath. The mountain has taught you patience. It has taught you endurance. And above all, it has taught you humility. This morning begins like so many before it. The first light of dawn slowly reaches the valley. Mist drifts between the rocky hills. A cool breeze carries the scent of pine trees through the camp. For a few peaceful moments, the world feels quiet, beautiful. You pause before entering the mine. The dark entrance no longer seems frightening. It feels familiar, almost like an old companion. Not a friendly one, but one you understand. Inside, the tunnels greet you with the same cool silence. Your oil lamp flickers gently against the stone walls. The familiar echoes surround you. Dripping water, footsteps, iron striking rock. Nothing has changed. And yet, everything has changed. You are no longer the inexperienced worker who struggled to lift a single basket of ore. Now your hands know exactly where to strike. Your eyes recognize the faint shimmer of silver hidden inside the stone. You understand a mountain better than you ever imagined possible. The morning passes quietly. The final pieces of ore from this section of the mine are carefully removed. The engineer studies exposed rock. He smiles. This tunnel has given Rome all it can. The miners lower their tools. For the first time, this chamber falls silent. No more hammers. No more pickaxes. Only the gentle sound of dripping water. Soon, another team will begin digging elsewhere. The search for precious metals never truly ends. You help carry the last baskets toward the surface. Outside the mine, the ore begins its next journey. Large stone hammers crush the rock into smaller pieces. Workers sort the fragments carefully. Only the richest ore continues onward. The rest returns to the growing piles of broken stone. Nearby, furnaces burn day and night. Charcoal glows bright orange beneath clay furnaces built by Roman craftsmen. The crushed ore is heated until the metal begins separating from the surrounding rock. The process is slow, hot, demanding. Molten silver flows into carefully carved stone molds. Small silver bars slowly cool in the fresh air. You watch them silently. It is difficult to believe these dull gray pieces of metal will someday become beautiful Roman coins. Perhaps they will pay a soldier guarding the empire's frontier. Perhaps they will purchase grain in the busy markets of Rome. Perhaps they will become elegant jewelry worn by wealthy families. Few people who hold those finished coins will ever imagine where they began, deep beneath the earth, in darkness, carried by tired hands. As the afternoon continues, wagons begin arriving from a nearby town. Teams of oxen are loaded with silver bars. Each wagon is carefully sealed before beginning its journey toward Rome. Armed guards accompany the valuable cargo. The empire protects its wealth well. You watch the wagons disappear along the ancient road, slowly, quietly, almost disappearing into the distant hills. Lucius stands beside you. He smiles gently. There goes another piece of the empire. You nod. Without miners, there would be no silver. Without silver, the empire itself would struggle to function. Coins pay soldiers, fund roads, build temples, support cities. The strength of Rome depends not only upon its armies, but also upon ordinary workers hidden far from public view. As the sun begins lowering toward the western hills, the overseer gathers the miners one final time. He thanks everyone for completing this section of the mine safely. His words are simple, but sincere. Many mining projects do not end without tragedy. This one has been fortunate. One by one, the workers begin preparing for the journey home. Some will continue working in another mine. Others will return to nearby villages. A few will never leave this difficult profession. Mining has become the only life they know. You take one final look toward the entrance. The mountain stands peacefully beneath the evening sky. From the outside, no visitor would ever guess what lies hidden inside. Miles of tunnels, thousands of hours of labor, countless stories, countless forgotten lives. History often celebrates emperors. It remembers victorious generals, magnificent monuments, and famous battles. But history is also built by ordinary people. People who wake before sunrise, carry impossible loads, work quietly, and ask for little in return. The Roman miners were among those people. Their names have mostly disappeared. Their voices have faded, yet the wealth they uncovered helped shape one of history's greatest civilizations. As twilight settles across the valley, you begin walking away from a mine. The road stretches peacefully ahead. The evening breeze feels cool against your face. Birds glide silently above the trees. Somewhere in the distance, a shepherd calls to his flock. The simple sounds of ordinary life feel strangely comforting after so many hours beneath the earth. You pause once more and look back. The mine entrance has already disappeared.